All right, Bruce Hill, new skills, new you. Just a friendly reminder: one new skill will change your life. So, day two, we're on day two, man. I'm gonna be real. I woke up at 3:08 a.m. and I'm like, all right. And then I woke up at 6, 15, 18, and I was like, nah. And so I went back to sleep and I woke up about 7:28. Not sure why those times all started with 8. Just noticed that. Anyway, I was ready to go back to sleep. I'm like, my first meeting's not until 8:30. I have time for a nice little nap before I get up. Does anybody take a nap after they wake up just so they can be all the way ready? No, just me. All right. And so when I got up, I went to the gym. 30 minutes on the treadmill. Did some tricep extensions, super easy, and came back to the crib, took a shower, had some breakfast. Um, the biggest thing for me was I'm reading The Year of Yes right now by Shonda Rhimes. And she promised to say yes to the things that scared her for a year. And, once her family, friends, and people in her circle kind of went of it, they would remind her, like, hey, is this something you would normally say no to? You need to say yes. And they helped her get on, like, the Jimmy Kimmel show. They helped her get on, I think she ended up on Oprah like 3 times. Ended up as commencement speaker. Just lots of beautiful things happened because she was consistent to her promise. That's what got me up this morning because I certainly didn't feel like it. I was rested. I just didn't want to. Uh, it's it's challenging because you don't see results right away. You don't always see results right away, and that makes it tough to go through week one, to go through week two, and not see any results. I think there has to be a level of, is that discipline, steadfastness, consistency, maybe all of the above, to keep going when you don't see results. So I remember I was doing really well in inside sales. And that just means the customers came into the store to talk to you, right? I was doing really well, like top 100 nationwide, really well. Okay, your guy was working. So I was like, man, instead of waiting for people to come to me, I should go get the customers, then I can make more money. I was being ambitious, which I like about me, but sometimes I don't plan ahead. Getting better at that. So I said, hey, I'm going to transition to outside sales. And I believe that the reason outside sales folks made more money is because they have to earn everything they get paid on. 100% commission. I think we got some leads. We were supposed to get 6 leads. Was it a day or a week? Anyway, we got like one a month. It was pretty terrible. So we literally, if we didn't do the work, we didn't get paid. So month number one, I go in, fresh out the training, boom, I made $7. All right, in 30 days. Month number two, I made, I don't even think it was triple digits. Month number three, I think I finally broke triple digits. I made like $250. Yes. And in 90 days, I made less than $300. So this is a really important memory for me because one, I think most people would have been smart enough to try something else, right? Most people would have been like, hey, this is clearly not working. Do something else. Unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to give up. And and I just remember like waking up in the morning like, man, I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna do it one more day. And I remember waking up every morning, 6 days a week. And I'm just like, this can't be the best way to do this. So 90 days, I had a choice. I'm like, okay, what I'm doing is not working. Do I pivot or persevere? And is it Sisyphus? There's a story about him. It's a Greek story where he was punished. He had to push a rock up a hill, but when he almost gets to the top, it will roll back down. And so he had to spend an eternity pushing this rock up the hill. And so I felt like this character that, okay, what I'm doing is not working. So if I don't quit, if I decide to keep going, I have to do something differently. I have to make some adjustments. I don't know where those adjustments are. So I did 3 things. I went to the install team. I said, hey, which which neighborhoods have the largest sales and which products have the longest retention rate, right? And so they're like, "Who are you and why are you here?" Apparently, I was the first salesperson to go to the tech install meeting ever. And I was like, "Hey, I'm Bruce," and they're like, "You're Bruce?" And I was like, "Oh crap, what do I do?" And so they took the box of donuts out of my hands. I came prepared, and they're like, "Sit down, we got to talk to you." And I'm like, "Oh man, what's going on?" Apparently, I've been selling obsolete products. I've been selling obsolete products that either didn't exist or that we didn't weren't able to sell anymore for whatever reason. The training was that bad, and the fact that no one noticed that for that long infuriates me to this day. All right, stay with me. So now I'm like, I've identified a problem. What's the solution? I'm like, tell me what I need to sell. So like, all right, sell this, this, and this. These zip codes are the best. Big houses, people pay on time, and they stay for years. I'm like, great. So then I went to one of the top performers, and he had been there for something silly, 16 years. And I was like, what are you doing to consistently get the business uh, so that I could just copy what you're doing? That's one thing I like about me. I could figure it out. Why? Someone else has already figured it out. Just go ask them and do it. That's why people work with me. There's nothing that I teach you when it comes to sales and leadership that is brand new. There's a few things I disagree on. Maybe we'll talk about the 10,000 hour rule versus the 10,000 repetitions rule. Remind me tomorrow. But for the most part, I'm going to teach you things that is in a book somewhere. The reason people like to work with me is I make it very simple and I support a holistic growth. So yes, your business is going to grow if you work with me, but you're going to grow too as an individual. So your whole life benefits. That's kind of my different approach. I'm what happens if a life coach taught sales. I just want, hey, one new skill will change your life. So I got help from the install team. I got help from the top performers, and I went to work. And then in my webinar, Hear Yes More Often, I'll put a link down there. I think I've got a recording so you can watch it on demand. So I used to say number one way to hear yes more often is just ask more people. All right. You don't need a degree. You don't need a script. Just ask like, hey, I solved this problem. Do you have this problem? Can I solve it for you? No punchlines, no psychological manipulation. I don't teach those things. Go somewhere else. But I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. So I just went and asked hundreds of people every day. And guess what happens? The fourth month, I doubled. The fifth month, I doubled again. The sixth month, I doubled again. The seventh month, I had a record breaking month. The eighth month was a record breaking month. And I'm like, aha, I got it. I got the formula. And I was doing so well. The president of the company, it was privately owned at the time, the president of the company flies down to our office to congratulate us. And I'm like, let's go, Bruce, let's go. And that's where I really love about myself is that sometimes I'm foolish enough to keep going when I really should quit. So here's the message. If you feel like you're at that point in your life, like, man, do I keep going? Do I keep trying? What a lot of people have to stop doing is thinking that what got them here will get them there. What I was doing and when I was top 100 in that company wasn't working in the new company. And I had to have the wisdom and humility to admit that there's something that I don't know that I don't know. I had to have the wisdom to see, like, hey, I've got to do something different if I want different results. That's my advice to you, and that's where I'm gonna help. If you're a service-based business, particularly, shout out to my coaches, speakers, consultants. Love y'all. Y'all are here offering transformations. What you're doing is huge. It's transforming lives. But if you don't get new clients, you can't change new lives. So now your business is dying, and there's people that need you that aren't working with you. So that's what I want for you. I want you to hear yes more often, and that's going to mean some changes in what you do on a day-to-day basis. There's some changes to how you do things. So some of you are thinking about quitting. Before you do, I think thinking about quitting is great. You really have an honest conversation with yourself. Like, okay, if I quit, what does that look like? What are the results, consequences, benefits? If I keep going, what are the results? What are the consequences? What are the benefits? But if you decide to keep going before you quit, give it 90 days. That's why it's a 90-day sprint. And figure out what you can do differently to get different results. And I'm here to help. If you need some help, tap into the Here Yes More Often training. That's a good place to start. Some things I learned from my adventures or misadventures. And then ask yourself, okay, have I given those new activities time to manifest a result? Then let's circle back. We'll talk about quitting. Sometimes it's not about quitting too soon. It's about not adapting and evolving soon enough. I hope that helped. That's a long rambling story. This is new for me. It's new skills, new you. Day 2 of the 90-day sprint, where we're doing new habits and reaching new heights and new goals. Peace.